Some more quotes and other things that I've written down. This quote is by Franklin Roosevelt, or Franklin D. Roosevelt. Apologies. That's okay. I'll read it and then I'll take. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the assessment that something else is more important than fear, which is quite important, but also brings in the context in which that was written. It was nationalism, creating a national identity, creating an identity that could withstand external forces, where no external or where no sort of nationalistic identity, where it was more community identity, coming up against empires. Sadly, they either get subsumed or destroyed. Case in point, the strangely the Druids, so in the UK, subject to the Roman expansion, it was a thriving community, but because of the very simplistic equality that they represented, where the men and the women fought, and they fought in teams. There's not a lot known about the Druids because obviously they were stamped out and they didn't really talk to their oppressors. But yeah, they fought in teams, and so you had husband and wife pairings. So where you didn't have standing armies and other things in the UK and anywhere really apart from the Roman Empire, the only way that they could make themselves strong enough to push off other tribes and other things would be to essentially create fighting units. And then family units became the fighting units, contributing to the. But there's another quote, I can't remember quite who by, is bravery is not the absence of fear, it's just having the willpower to do it for 5 seconds longer, kind of thing, which kind of leads into a lot of things in life, where if you can just stay the course. If you want to get rich, it's not an overnight thing, it's a slow thing, it's a building thing. You want to, build relationships, friendships, all these things. Yes, you've got those momentary, this person's cool, but you have to put the effort in. It's not something that just happens overnight. You don't just, you have to not work at it, but contribute. You can't just continually put on to people that they put in all the effort, and that's a difficult thing, and something to be wary of when you do find friends that assess how much energy is going into it, and if it's a very energetic friendship, but if it's 90% you, and they're just pulling or leeching the energy because they're wanting to have that kind of amazing emotional involvement, but also I've met some of the most amazing people in my life, and the memories of them will stay until I'm very old. But their energy and my energy, quite often, usually it was my energy, created an imbalanced relationship, which was not healthy for me or for them. And thankfully, circumstances in life led us in different directions before we could hurt each other. I'm sure the universe is full of intelligent life. It's just been too intelligent to come here. Arthur C. Clarke, which kind of well, you look at relativity and the whole, what's the nearest star? What would they be capable of achieving? And would you come to somewhere that isn't as advanced as you? To be able to get to somewhere else, you have to be extremely advanced. I'm a great believer that, if you were going to travel across time and space, you would send code rather than people. But hence me kind of saying, well, if you look at DNA or anything else or the building blocks of life, there's a code behind it all, and it's all predetermined on how you're going to look and grow. And then you have your influences of life that, he's having 10 times more sun, he's adaptive, and the code changes and things like that. And it's an interesting concept, but yeah, I'm not sure that I would come somewhere like here, um, which has an abundance of resources. But if I was going to pick a holiday, I'd want to see something that I couldn't see on my planet. So a quasar, or no, a quasar because it's tiny, but supernova, stars, things that are in the void, rather than pop to another planet and meet and make friends with people that it might be quite difficult. If you're off on a weekend break, you don't want to learn an entire language. Anyway, so that's a bit of a tangent. All we got is memories. So what the F is time? Macmillan. Quite true. Like a car, a time machine passes behind you, present's in here, and future's in front. Or there was a Kung Fu Panda. There's a turtle in it that goes, the past is history, the future is unknown, but now is all we have, kind of thing, because it's why they call it the present. Future is a mystery, past is a history, yeah, and basically the present is a gift, and a chance to make memories, because once everything else apart from in here is a tool for your brain, and how you build those memories, and carry them with you. Possessions you can't take with you, but you can certainly have something that you can enjoy for a very long time. The true measure of an individual is how he treats a person who can do him absolutely no good. Ann Landers. Extremely true. I've always thought of life as where you can't extrapolate or work out what people are going to do or expect people to behave appropriately unless there are consequences. And I'm not talking sort of legal punishment. I'm talking, relationship, communities, and the number of situations where I've been where I've had to disguise where I've been leaving a job or leaving a venue, because I used to run and work in hospitality, and as soon as people found out that there was change and you were no longer going to be there in a short while, the assumption was that there were no consequences, and a lot of things fell apart. So yeah,